Hello guys, Sanjay here and welcome back to a new video, and this video is going to be about a PC build, and that too a budget one, just 25,000 rupees. How did we do it? The intro was great. The video is going to be great as well. Without wasting any time, let's get started. Obviously, I'll tell you all the parts. We'll keep on building the PC and keep on talking about all the parts that I have used. First part that we are going to unbox is the MSI A320M A Pro Max motherboard. Motherboard is extremely important. In the box, you get two SATA cables, one IO shield, and most importantly, a sticker. We'll use all of them later. Motherboard has some unique features at this price point, such as one M.2 slot, which is very good to see at this particular price point. It supports RAM up to 3000 MHz, 4 USB 3.1 Gen 1 ports at the back side, 2 USB 2.0 port, 1 HDMI port, which we will use for our monitor. Now once you unbox the motherboard, keep it on the box itself, do not keep it anywhere else. Now we are going to put the processor on the motherboard, and the processor that we are going to use is the Ryzen 3200G, which comes with 4 cores, 4 threads. It can go up to 4 GHz, and it comes with a cooler inside the box. Why 3200G and not 3300X? That's because at the price point of 25,000 rupees, we cannot build a brand new PC with a processor and a graphic card which will perform better than 3200G. That's why we had to go with this particular processor. By the way, you also get one more sticker with Ryzen 3200G inside the box itself. Now it's time to install the processor inside the socket. Take out the processor from its plastic covering. Be very careful. Now pull the lever on the motherboard, and this is how you do it. I'll just do it once again. Yep, there you go. It comes out very easily. You do not have to use a lot of force. Now find the triangle on the socket, align it with the triangle on the processor, and simply put it there. Do not use any force. If you do it correctly, then it will just sit and go inside the socket comfortably. You do not have to use any force. So once again, do not use any force. If the processor does not go, push the lever back into its place the way we put it out. Just do the reverse way. Now it's time to install the RAM. We are going to use the G.Skill Ripjaws 3000 MHz RAM. Why did we go with 8GB? Because the person for whom I am building this PC may upgrade to 16GB of RAM in 6 months or 1 year. By the way, if you are not going to upgrade the RAM in future, do use 2 sticks of 4GB RAM so that you can enjoy dual channel memory. Installing the RAM is very easy. Open these parts of the RAM slot and simply align the cut on the RAM with the RAM slot and put it inside. The slots which we opened earlier will close and you will be able to hear that. So installing RAM once again is very easy. Nothing to worry here. Now it's time to attach the cooler, and we will have to remove this, and for that simply remove these 4 screws. These are the 2 parts which we removed, and we are going to put the cooler in place of these. Remember, do not remove the back plate. We need that because cooler will be attached to this. It is very important. Cooler has pre-applied thermal paste. Now you simply need to align the cooler according to the screws on the cooler and the screw holes which are present on the back plate, and simply tighten the cooler from all 4 sides. That's it. Make sure you tighten the screws completely to the point where they can't go any further. You can use little bit of extra force in order to tighten them completely because that might be necessary. Now CPU cooler is also installed. Now CPU fan cable, or the cable which is attached to the cooler, goes into the CPU fan slot which is present on the top of the motherboard. Simply attach it over there and use creativity to hide the wire. I'm going to hide it like this. Now it is time to put the motherboard in the cabinet, and we are going to use the MSI Vampiric 100R, a fantastic case for the price tag of 4,000 rupees. Excellent airflow, ARGB fan, LED control in the front, USB 3.2 Gen 1 port at the top, and 2 more USB 2.0 ports. Now why a case worth 4,000 rupees? Because the person for whom I'm building this PC wanted a good cabinet whose USB ports will not stop working after few months, and a good looking case as well. If you save about 1,000 rupees in the cabinet, then you can build the exact same PC for exact 25,000 rupees, because after the case being of 4,000 rupees, the budget went to about 26,000 rupees. This manual shows all the possible configurations and how to install hard disk. We will use these instructions in the later part of the video. Now before installing the motherboard, we need to install the IO shield which goes at the back side of the cabinet, and it is easy but sometimes tricky to install it. You just need to push it in with the correct orientation of the motherboard. Remember, orientation is also important. If you install it wrongly, then oh my god, nothing is going to happen. You can remove it very easily and shift or change the IO shield once again. Nothing to worry. If there is anything which you need to be very concerned about, then that's installing the processor, in my opinion, which I talked about earlier. Now hold the motherboard with the cooler, because bottom part of the motherboard has sharp pins, and align it with the IO shield. And now it's time to screw it in so that the motherboard stays there. Use the screws which are provided in the cabinet box to secure it. You have to use these screws to tighten it completely from all sides, and the motherboard will be secured in place. If you do not know which screws to use, then refer to the manual of the case. To access all the USB 3.0 port cable or the small wires, we need to open the back panel of the cabinet. So after opening it up, we can see all these HD audio cable, USB 3.0 cable, USB header, and all these small cables which we need to put on the motherboard, which is in the front. Actually, it is very easy to attach these cables. Once you route them from the bottom side of the cabinet, simply find the USB header, audio header, USB 3.0 header, and attach them accordingly. It is very well written on the motherboard itself. I do not think you need to be a genius in order to build a PC or to attach these cables. Anyone can build a PC. You just need confidence. If you are not able to find these ports, do not worry. Simply search for MSI A320M A Pro Max datasheet and you will find everything. And this is the same datasheet that we are going to use to attach these small wires. Once you have this, you can easily figure out which wire goes at which positions. Sometimes it is also written on the motherboard. Once you find that which wire goes where, I guess it's very easy. Simply put them there and you're good to go. We are using the Cooler Master 450 watt PSU, which is bronze rated and frankly has more than enough power for this PC build. Even adding a graphic card in the future won't bottleneck the PSU. While inserting the PSU, make sure you face the fan down. Do not face it upwards. It will create more heat. Do not do that. PSU comes with its own screws which can be used to secure its position. Now the power supply unit has a lot of cables, but two of them are just way too important to miss. First one is the 24-pin cable, which I have already routed in the front from the side port, and this CPU cable which I'll put from the top so that it's easy to do cable management and it's very close to the CPU socket on the motherboard. 24-pin cable goes over here. It's a huge port. You cannot miss this one, and it's very easy to once again attach it. It's just like putting Legos. Push it and it will get attached automatically. CPU pin cable can be attached on the top left part. Now CPU is written on the motherboard where you need to put the CPU cable, and on the cable also CPU is written as I showed you earlier. Again, you just need to align the cable and push it in. I tried doing some cable management here, and here is a time lapse of that. Now it's time to attach the hard disk, and the process is going to be different for different cases. So just refer to the case manual. For the MSI Vampiric 100R, I had to remove this bracket and put the hard disk inside this bracket, then fix it with screws and then put the bracket back once again and then put the screws back. This is to make sure that the hard disk stays in place no matter what. Now it's time to attach the SATA cable which came with the motherboard box. Attach it to the SATA port on the motherboard, not motherboard, sorry. We'll obviously attach it to the motherboard, but on the hard disk, which is very easy to find. Now attach the power cable from the power supply to the hard disk, which looks something like this, and attach it to the hard disk. We do not need to attach the power supply cable somewhere else because it is already attached to the power supply directly. Now, as the motherboard comes with only one fan header, but we have two fans, we had to use the cable which was provided in the cabinet, and this is how the solution looks. I had to refer to the manual. Obviously you can do that as well. Basically attach the extension cable to the fan header and attach both the fans to the cable so that both of them will work. Obviously you will have to tidy them up here because the extension cable is kind of big. I did my part over here. I tried doing something. Now it's time to clean up some of the things. Cable to the motherboard. Now just route the SATA cable from the bottom part, side part, wherever or whichever SATA port on the motherboard you want to use. I want to use the bottom part, so I routed the SATA cable from the bottom part and I attached it on the bottom part of the motherboard so that it looks better. Black and black matches completely. And boom, your PC build is ready. It's time to install Windows 10. How do you do that? First of all, start your PC and you will see something like this. Oh my god, what is this? Is your PC not going to boot? Not at all. Just create a pen drive which has Windows 10 installed. How do you do that? I have already created a video on that, which will be linked in the I button over here or in the description box below. Just follow that video and you will create a pen drive which has Windows 10 installed. Once you get something like this, restart your PC by using the button on the cabinet. Now, if your PC does not boot or does not respond to the power button or restart button, that means that you did not attach those small cables correctly, which we talked about earlier, or for which we referred to the manual on the smartphone. Check those connections once again if your power button or restart button is not working. Once it's done, you have to install Windows 10. This is a very fast time lapse. We installed everything, installed Windows 10, installed all the necessary drivers, and now it's time to run games. All of you must be waiting for this. Now this is a 25,000 rupees PC build. When it comes to 1080p gaming, I recommend a budget of 50,000 rupees because that's a sweet spot for doing 1080p gaming. But at the price tag of 25,000 rupees, you can do 720p gaming at low medium settings max to get about 60 fps. We played GTA 5 with 720p and low settings. These are the settings that we played it at, and we were getting anywhere from 40 to 60 fps depending on the scenario or where we were, which is pretty good for the price tag of 25,000 rupees. Now we also tried CSGO and you already saw that, but CSGO at 720p resolution and low graphics, I would say. Once again, 40 to 60 fps constantly, anything between them depending on where you are. If you are playing Dust 2 and if you are in the middle with a lot of smokes and a lot of players around, then it will go to about 40-45 fps. If there is no one around you and there are no smokes, no nothing, then it will give you about 50 to 60 fps. We also tried Rise of the Tomb Raider and it was able to give about close to 30 fps. Not 30 but 26 fps. You can lower down some other settings even further to get to 30 fps mark. So 30 to 60 fps gaming at 720p resolution is definitely possible with this 25,000 rupees PC build. And I'm sure, I hope you were not expecting 1080p gaming, because at this price point it's difficult to do that with a brand new PC. If you want to do that at the price tag of 25,000 rupees, you will have to find second-hand parts which are very good and all that. Oh, it's a very long video. Maybe we will do that in the future. Did you enjoy this video? Do let me know about that in the comment section box below. If you still have any more doubts, suggestions or queries regarding this 25,000 rupees PC build, you can tweet it to me at @dhananjay_tech. I'll definitely get back to you. If you have any suggestions, queries regarding PC build, which PC build amount that I should build a PC of next time, do let me know about that in the comment section box below as well. If you enjoyed this video, or I did not talk about that in the starting part of the video, like this video, subscribe to the channel and press the bell icon so that you get notified next time I upload a video like this one. So yeah, thank you guys. Thank you for watching.